Hi everyone, welcome to another interview by Booktastik, and today we have with us Charity Parkerson. She's an award-winning author and she has penned many books. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's got to be close to 30. So I'd like to welcome Charity. Hi Charity.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
So,
So good to see your face.
I
Sorry.
know, yay. It's good. Charity and I go back a long way, and we've actually met in person when I went to America and we had a book signing. It was awesome. Yay. Anyway. So I just need to say, how many books have you done now?
49.
What?
Yeah.
49?
That's what Amazon shows I have for sale is 49.
Oh my God. And here I'm saying 30.
Well, it's not like 30, 49 full-length books. You know, it's scattered amongst anthologies and things like that. So.
Oh, okay. So how long has it taken you to do all that work?
Oh, years. Years, yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't even tell you the exact amount. My first book came out in 2010.
Wow, okay. So, yeah, you're still around and writing.
Mhm.
And I have to ask the question that most authors probably do get asked, but I like to know anyway. Was it always your dream to be an author? Because I know your mother's an author. Did that have an influence on you or not really?
It did. Well, it let me know that I could do it, that I could get out there and try. But no, I don't think that, not until after my second son was born did I really think that I was going to try for this.
Okay.
Really, I just wanted to be a mom and be at home with my kids. So it wasn't until they started getting a little bit older that I thought I might want to do something that was just for me.
Oh, that's nice. So did you ever write when you were younger? I mean, even without the idea that you would eventually do this as a job, did you enjoy writing?
I did. I, like most teenagers, started out with doing the really bad poetry that,
Yes.
thank God, got lost somewhere along the line. And then in my early 20s, I did a little bit of romance, and it didn't go far at all.
Yep. Okay. And what are you working on at the moment? Because I also know that you were traditionally published, then you went self-published, and now you're traditionally published again.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think things have changed in that time?
Well, I know I've grown. I don't know if the industry has changed a whole lot besides, the flood of books available now.
Mm-hmm. And do you enjoy being with a traditional publisher this time around?
I do. I love it. I love being a hybrid more than anything because I have the books I can control, and I'm not very good at letting the control go.
Yeah.
But having the curb there where I'm welcome places I might not have been welcome otherwise, and it even started out that way, that there were sites that I was welcome on because I had started out traditionally published that I would not have been welcome on otherwise.
Okay. Do you ever see that changing?
I hope so. I don't. With some people, probably not.
I wonder what it is though, because we all know now that just because you're self-published, it doesn't mean that you're putting out crap work. As an editor, I do a lot of work for indie authors. So there's a lot of indie authors out there who really care about what they're doing. And so in some cases, they're better than the traditionally published books, depending on the publisher and how much time they've spent on that particular book.
Probably it's the whole gatekeeper thought process, because even though there are so many good authors out there, there's also still the waves of authors that just write something and put it out. They don't even try to find a proofreader, and it happens. And as soon as they close, or open that up for anybody, then they can't. How do they police it?
Yeah, that's true. I guess they could read a few pages. It doesn't take much to tell.
They probably don't have that kind of time and manpower and money behind them.
Yeah. Okay, and what else was I going to ask you? I was wondering, now that you're hybrid, do you have to put the publisher's demands first? Like if you've got a deadline, you have to meet that first, definitely, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And
for my stress level, if nothing else.
and how does that affect you? Because I know that you get a lot of ideas, and some authors, they love to just, once they get an idea, just go with it. So how's that affected your writing?
With the cyborg, it killed me because I still had, I think, like a book and a half left to go to meet my deadlines when the cyborg came in, and his story had to be told, and so that's really where the prequel came in, of get the prequel out, get the idea going, and then go back and do what needed to be done, and then it would be out there, and I could pick it up when the deadlines were met.
I have to say I've read your novella Cyborg and it's awesome. I absolutely loved it, and it was too short. I was like, no, why is it finished already? So I can't wait for the next one to come out. When do you think it'll be out?
Hopefully this summer.
Okay, and it's been selling really well.
So many ideas. Oh, it is. Thank God. Yeah.
It's just a fantastic story, and there's no slow bits. There's no bits where you think, oh God, come on, get along with the story. And the characters were really well drawn. I really liked your characters, and I love your snarky sense of humour. Do you find that people don't always get your humour in real life, but they get it when it's on the page?
That happens to me all the time. Yeah. Daily. Happened to me yesterday.
Do you want to be more specific?
Oh my gosh. I hope you don't listen to this. There's this guy on Twitter, and he's part of my tribe also, and his tweets, I don't get them. I don't know. He tweets me almost every day, and I don't understand I feel like he's kind of got like Twitter Tourette's, and I just don't understand what he's saying. And finally last night I was like, do you drink before you tweet me? And I know I'm joking, but it was just met with dead silence. And also with John Mayer, I did it with John Mayer yesterday. He was talking about the rules of independently publishing, and he listed them all, and I was like, don't forget desperation. I had desperation to the list. I desperately like to eat, and it was just like met with crickets. I was like, oh, okay. Not everybody gets me. I'm not for everybody.
But your books are funny. Your characters are funny, and that you read them, and you forget that someone's writing it, and it's like, these are really the characters, and then I have to remind myself, oh wow, that's Charity. She's so funny. Anyway, so
crazy, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. Do you have a routine when you write, or you just whenever you get time?
I have to make myself, because if not, I'll find myself all day long on Twitter or Facebook, or researching the next promotional idea, and I have to look at the clock and keep myself on that schedule. And plus, that's where Right Track comes in, where I post my word count every day. Otherwise, it's like I have nothing that's going to make me do it. I have to make myself accountable for my time.
Yeah, I suppose, especially when you've got deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how many books do you have planned into the future? Do you know in advance, like 5 books in advance, or just 1 book in advance?
Usually no more than 3. When I started the No Rival series, which is the one that just released, I knew that I had 3 books, that it would be 3 books. Mm-hmm. And that's what I signed for. And then after the 3 books were finished, I was like, oh, I know that I could get 2 more out of this. And then I signed for 2 more. And now I'm like, I know I have at least 1 more.
Oh, no.
So I'm talking to them about 1 more right now. Oh. I was working on Cyborg, too.
That's
and
exciting.
I don't know if there's anybody out there who's looking for it, but the next book in this, After a Splash of Hope, I still haven't even started on it.
Wow. And
poor Tristan.
Yeah. I have to ask you about the, is it No Rival series? Is that, yeah, mm-hmm. Okay. Can you tell everyone what it's about and what genre it falls in?
Sure, it falls in sports erotica. And it's about an MMA fight club called No Rival that trains the world's leading MMA fighters, and it's owned by the MMA world champion.
Okay.
Heavyweight, sorry. Should have thrown that in there.
And the first book, you've got separate books. Do each of them focus on different characters? Is that it, or you just continue the story with the same characters?
It's the same characters, but each book focuses on a different one.
Okay.
They keep carrying over. So if you fall in love with one character, they're going to be back. They're not going to be the main focus of the story, but they'll be back.
Okay. And who does the first book focus on?
It's kind of a love triangle, if not more so than that. It's about a woman named Aubrey, and she's a nurse. And she takes these private kickboxing lessons. She tried taking them in the regular class and found out she did not have the balance, and they now have a trophy case that will never be the same after she attempted it. But it's two men that teach the class, and she's kind of fixated on both of them. They're sort of the center of her fantasy. And they invite her to a weekend-long trip to this party that's thrown every year by the MMA heavyweight champion. And so it's kind of bringing her fantasies to life. But then when she gets there, she finds out their motives are not exactly what they led her to believe. And she also meets this Drew Alexander. And so now she's kind of torn between these two guys she's always fantasized about and this new guy.
Lucky her.
Yeah. They were like three alpha males. Oh my God.
Oh, that's so funny. If only we could become book characters for a little while without any repercussions.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Oh dear. And do you plot out your books or not really?
Oh God, I'm a total pantser.
Yay.
I try. I maybe have like a really like loose outline with all of my ideas, but then once the characters come to life, they just do what they want. You know, they just run roughshod all over me. I know one of the main characters in book 2, I just could not make him fall in love with anybody. He just went on for each book, and I was like, what is wrong with this guy? Every book, I'm like, this is his book. This is who he's going to fall in love with. And every book, he was like, no, don't want to.
So did he end up falling in love with anyone?
He did. I can't say more than that. I finally realized why he wasn't falling in love with anybody, and it took me by as much surprise as hopefully it'll take the readers. So.
And do your characters ever make you angry with their decisions?
Oh gosh, yes. He was the perfect example. I am working on the edits. Just went through the first round of edits with Alora's Cave, and even though I wrote it and I've read it so many times, self-editing before it went to them, I still wanted to punch him in the throat going through it the second time. I was like, this guy is such an asshat.
He's lucky he didn't get written out of the story.
It's like, I'm going to have to do something really horrible to him.
Get hit by a bus while he's crossing the road perving at someone. Don't you love it how you can do that to your characters? But anyway.
Yeah.
Have you ever killed a character and really enjoyed it? Or you don't kill many of them?
No, not really enjoyed it. I killed a character and cried for 2 weeks after.
Oh, that's so sad. And what's your favourite genre to write? Because I know you write a few different ones.
Probably the paranormal. I don't know. I always end up coming back to it no matter what. I think it'll always be my first love.
Mm-hmm. And I've read your Sexy Witches book, which I really enjoyed. What was the inspiration for that?
It was a contest I won with the Mistress of the Dark Path, and she put the idea out there and put it in my head of what would happen if you had to make a spell and you had to include all of these really odd ingredients. And there had to be a zombie involved and a witch involved, and so I just sat down and started making ideas and come up with this little short story. And once I had it out there, I was like, oh, I could make this into a full-length story. You know, what if this crazy potion pulled an angel from the heavens, and it was just some weird combination of the things that she'd thrown in this pot on the boil.
Oh, that's a great yeah, you obviously get inspiration from anything.
Hmm.
That's good. Okay. Did you ever thank her for that?
Oh yeah, she. I won the award that month for that story.
Oh wow, cool, yay! So how many awards have you won? I have to
I don't
ask.
know.
You
I
don't count.
won.
So many, I just don't know.
Uh, well, I've won 5 times. I have won 5 of the Mistress of the Dark Path. The reader's favorite. Several.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
several.
exciting. And do you still get as excited now as the very first time you
Oh,
won something?
oh yeah, it never gets old because everything I write, I think that it's awful. After so many times of reading it, at first it'd be like, this is great. This is going to be a great story. Then after 10 times of reading it through, I'm like, oh, this is there. Nobody's going to like this. So awards, when you get reviews, a lot of times you feel like, oh, I must have met that person on Twitter, or they see me on Goodreads and they think I'm a nice person and they're just being nice to me. But those awards, those come from committees and the experts, and you feel like, okay, well, I've done something good here. If somebody who doesn't know me and judges people every year, then this is okay. I've done all right.
Well, that's exciting. And I have to ask you, Cyborg, because I love, that's one of my favourites of yours, actually, I have to say. Where did you get the idea for that?
It came to me in a dream, just
Oh,
a little part of it. And
oh, that must have been an
probably not the
interesting
bits
dream.
that you're thinking, not the bits that you're thinking, no. It was more the idea of having someone living in your home that you think is just like an everyday household appliance for that day and age, to find out that it is this person, that's just alive and has feelings and thoughts. And how do you get away with that every day? And it just grew, and I have so many ideas for that series that it drives me crazy. Like, it's one of those things, like, I always wish I could just pour it onto the page and get it out of my head, because it goes in so many different directions with so many ideas that I can't get them out fast enough or make sense of them. And it aggravates me if I can't tie one thing to another quick enough, because I see the world and I want to be able to show it to everybody, and I can't do it fast enough.
I have to say, you've drawn that world really well. It definitely has a science fiction feel about it, even though that's not exactly what you were going for in terms of the genre classification. You're writing a romance or an erotic romance, and you're not trying to make it science fiction. But I think that sometimes is the best world building, where you've just got enough information to set the scene, but you're not overdoing it and making it ridiculous. And it really felt like the future, and I thought you had a bit of vision with that one.
Thank you. That's what I was going for, because I just don't know how it's going to be that far in advance. I have, a picture in my head, but I don't know how to make that sound okay without picking it apart. It's like I'm either just enough details to get you by, or I will drive you crazy until you are like, oh, when is this going to end already? Is that even possible? I need to Google that. What does that word mean?
I've never found that with your stuff. It was really well done, and I would even recommend it to people that are into science fiction. It's got a really strong feel about it.
Thank you.
It's all right. So, your first book in the No Rival series is Unsurpassed, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What's the second one going to be called?
Undaunted.
And when does that one come out?
They haven't given me a release date yet, but it'll be soon. It'll be within the next month or so, because it's in its second round of edits right now.
Okay.
So when it goes to final line edits, they'll issue me a release date, which is usually 2 weeks after they start the final line edit.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting. So if people want to buy your books, can you just give us the different genres that you write and where they can get them from?
Everything is some subgenre of romance. I write military romance, paranormal romance, sports romance, erotica, some science fiction erotica, and anywhere online that you can buy books. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, iTunes, Kobo. I'm everywhere. And all of the links are on my website, which is charityparkerson.com.
Awesome. And how does your family cope with your writing? Because I understand if you've got an idea and you just have to get it down, or if you've got a deadline and you basically just have to work your bum off to get it done, how do they cope with that?
My kids, it's a little bit easier with them because I can usually do it at night when they're asleep or when they're at school during the day. My husband is really understanding, especially if he knows I have a deadline, and he'll be like, yeah, you have to write, get offline and write. Or he knows, he can tell when he's getting ready to head to bed that I'm not coming directly after him. He's like, I'll see you when you get up there. Don't stay up too late. And I'm like, oh, well, and he's like, yeah. He knows. And next day it's like, what time did you come to bed? Midnight, 1 a.m. Yeah, I knew.
Do you find it hard to write when you're tired?
I do. Well, I'm not a morning person. If it's at night and I haven't gone to bed yet, I'm a little bit better. But in the morning, if I wake up tired, it's the rest of the day is shot. It's like I just can't get my mind to that fog to lift. Drowning in my coffee and cried.
Crying. And how many hours a day would you write, do you think, on average?
Usually, I try to write from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day, no matter what, even if I don't keep it in it's, crap and I'm just writing it in a notebook. I try to write at least at 3 hours a day.
Okay. And do you find your inspiration comes at certain times, like if you're doing certain things like going for a walk or, I don't know, cleaning the bathroom? Or it just can happen anytime? I try and avoid cleaning
Definitely
the bathroom.
if I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, my brain is like, oh, you thought you were going to sleep tonight. No.
Oh, that's sad.
We've got a book idea. Get up and go write.
Oh, have you ever done that? Just gone to bed and then had to get up again?
Oh, I have. Definitely, because I know I'm going to forget it. It's like every time you have that thought, oh, that's a great idea. I'm totally going to remember that in the morning. And no, you're not. Yeah. I have a little notebook on my phone, and I'll just get my phone, and I'll just go ahead and type it in my phone right then. And sometimes I'll be so tired that when I wake up the next day and see it, it makes no sense whatsoever. I'm like, what was I thinking?
That sounds like my voice to message service. I've had some real weird messages from that, and they can never translate my name. It's never Dion, it's always Jay or something. I'm like, what?
Where did that even come from? I know my mom, she can't say anybody's name. It's so funny because I always know when she's getting ready to talk about you, and she was like, I talked to Dione or Fiona, or how do you say that? And I'm like, Dion. She's like, yeah, I talked to her this morning. What's your friend's name? Dione?
No, it's Dion. Oh dear. At school I used to get a lot of different things. They could never say my name right the first time because my surname was Savides. So, yeah, trying to get that right. I had one teacher that called me Diane all year, and I just got sick of correcting. I was like, yeah, I'll be Diane this year. That's fine.
Yeah, I answered to chastity too because that's what people ask. I'm like, how common is the word charity? You see and hear that all the time, but it's still like chastity.
Chastity.
Like, I know they're talking to me.
That'd be ironic, wouldn't it?
I'm like, it's two total different things, guys. It's two total different things.
Yes, chastity, writing erotica. Kind of doesn't go, does it? Or maybe it does. Anyway, have you ever met people and gotten talking to them, and then they find out you're an erotica author, and then they go, oh, I've got to go now.
No, I've never had that happen.
So no one gets uncomfortable?
No. I will just say, I write. And they'll say, what do you write? And I'm like, romance. They're like, oh, like this. And I'm like, no, like 50 Shades.
50 Shades of Chastity.
I know it's hardest for my son. I know. Just here recently, he was at his girlfriend's house, and her dad asked what I did for a living, and he was like, "She's a writer," and he was like, "No, she isn't." And he was like, "Okay, don't look her up," you know. He's like, really strong romance.
Strong romance. I like that description. Oh, that's funny. Yes. And have you... sorry. A bit of a brain stutter there. You have an awards thing coming up, or a red carpet event. What's that all about?
It is the movie premiere of Knights of Templar. It's directed by Paul Sampson, and I don't know 100% sure that I will be going. They have invited me to come as a celebrity guest, and
that's so exciting. I have to go.
I really want to go because it's huge. You know, it's huge behind the scenes. Wow. With the stars, you know, directly on the red carpet. And, you know, this movie has so many huge names in it. And I really want to go, but I'm also sort of torn because it's really not the best thing for my family right now, you know, financially. Just, you know, even though they've invited me as a celebrity guest.
Well, if you can't go, I'm going to put on a blonde wig, and I'm going to put on my accent, and I'm going to go.
You should, you know, it's going to be great.
Oh, well, I hope you get to go. It sounds like a lot of fun.
I hope so too. You know, I was invited by a lady that I did an interview with on Let's Chat Radio, and I would really love to get to meet her in person too. So it's just a good opportunity to get to know some people that have met and talked to online, and so those are wonderful things to get to do.
Oh, well, I'll cross my fingers for you. Actually, I think Cyborg would translate well into a movie.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think it would. Yeah. I'd love to watch that movie.
Who wouldn't? Oh, gosh. Miles and all of that. Oh, yeah.
I know. Woo.
And, you know, I have the whole team in general, the whole Cyborg team. There's 3 more of them. Yeah. 3 more men for y'all to meet.
Oh, I can't wait to meet them. But I like your women in your stories too, because they're all very strong, but they're not unrealistic. So do you draw inspiration?
Weak women.
Sorry?
I can't stand the weak women that are in some romance books where they cry about everything, and that's just not me.
No, I was going to say, do you kind of draw them from your own personality a little bit, which I suppose all authors have to do, but do you kind of shape them on people you know, or you just put all the characteristics together that you would like?
I think a lot of myself goes in there, because I think that's true with any book and any author. You put more of yourself into your characters than anyone will ever know. But yeah, I can't do it where they're crying or begging or chasing after somebody, because it's just not in me to be that way, and I have a hard time relating with women who are that way. So I guess hopefully nobody will ever read a simpering character.
But it's nice to have strong women. It's good because they're making choices. They're not just falling into something. They're actually thinking, okay, I really like this guy, but... Yeah.
And I think that's a better representation of how women are today. You know, women are a lot stronger, and they don't need men the way they used to in this day and age.
No, they don't. So I shouldn't laugh because I'm married.
Oh, I am too. I'm happily married, yeah.
Some of them are all right. We'll give them that.
Well, yeah, you find a good one. You gotta hang on.
That's right. And that's what your characters do. They find a good one and they hang on to them.
That's right. They do. They might take a strange way to get there, and it might be unconventional in every way, but yeah, they find that one and they hang on.
Woohoo! And now that you're signed to Alora's Cave, are you ever allowed to sign on with anyone else, or is it just like there's a time frame before you are, or not?
I could. There's a lot of roundabout way to get there, but I also have a privacy clause or confidentiality clause in my contract. Gosh, it just left me. Yeah, my contract. So
yep,
I'm not technically allowed to say.
Oh, okay. But I guess you wouldn't be looking for anyone else at the moment because they're still going to be putting out a lot of your books, aren't they?
They are, and I'm very happy with them. They work hard and they let me be me, which is, you have to curb. Even as an indie author, I found myself curbing myself sometimes because I didn't know who would be looking at it, and you always have that option of getting picked up by a bigger publisher if you're an indie and they want to publish what you already have out there, but there's some things you're not allowed to do, or they think maybe you've gone a bit far or been a bit too harsh. And Alora's Cave is not like that. You know, they are very proud of saying that they are the bad girls of romance, and that they don't expect you to hold it in at all. They want whatever you got, so long as it's legal and can go on Amazon.
And they sound really professional, because I know a lot of publishers are cutting costs these days, because it's whether you're an indie author or a publisher, it is hard to make money out of this. But you go through several edits, which is great to hear.
You do. They are very strict in their editing, and of course, I don't care who you are published with, things are going to get through, because everybody is still human, no matter how many people you go through. But they are an amazing publisher.
Yeah, well,
I'm really happy with them.
Yay. Well, I can't wait until your next book comes out. So we're going to wrap this up now. Is there anything that you'd like to tell everyone about that I haven't asked you?
I can't think of anything. Oh, I do have another book releasing on, I guess it's probably tomorrow, your time, Friday. Oh, of course, my phone never rings. Now St. Jude's calling.
Okay, so what's the book coming out? We'll just ignore the phone. What's the book coming out tomorrow?
It is the final book in the 7-level series. It is Claimed by Sin, which is a horror erotic.
Horror erotic. That's unusual. That's such an unusual genre. How can you get all sexy when it's scary? Unless
I guess it's so closely related. Yeah. Oh, no,
chop your arm off, baby. That's so sexy.
People like to be scared and turned on all at the same time.
Yeah. Or the guy takes you home and he's got a coffin for a bed or something. Okay.
But you know, thank God, goodness for this strange genre, because that is what I got the email about today from Alora's Cave, wanting to know if I'd be interested in writing a short post for USA Today about writing a horror erotica, and writing horror erotica specifically for Alora's Cave.
That's exciting.
So, you know, one of these days I'll be able to say I wrote a post for the USA Today.
Yay! Oh, it'll be good. You'll have to send me the link when you've done it so that I can go and read it.
Sure thing.
Because it's interesting. It's one of the most unusual genres I've ever heard of.
It is, but apparently it's picking up in popularity, because I've seen a couple of different publishing companies have a call for submissions out on that genre right now, so it must be picking up. I hope so, because I have books out there that need to get sold in that genre.
Yeah. So what's that book called again that's coming out tomorrow?
Claimed by Sin.
Claimed by Sin. So it's book 5 in the series?
3.
Book 3, okay. Is it the last one in that series?
Yeah, unless they decide they want more. And actually, there is another character that we could write about, because this is the one I have with my mom, Regina Puckett.
Okay.
But as of right now, we don't plan on doing anything further.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, Charity. It's been awesome to talk to you. So if anyone wants to find Charity, they can find her on the Alora's Cave website. They can find her on Amazon, and she's got her own website, which is called...
CharityParkerson.com.
Yeah, oh, that's nice and easy. Okay. I wasn't sure if there was any... Sometimes people don't have their name as their website, which is confusing, but anyway. And you're on Twitter at CharityParkerson. There's no N on the end because there weren't enough characters, is that?
It was too long.
Yeah.
They're like, no more for you.
Yeah. And you're on Facebook as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As author Charity Parkerson.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck with your releases that are coming out in the next day and the next month. I'm going to check them out. Bye.